Well, Poppy, finally we had to get to your footy club, the Sturt Footy Club, and bring in the heavy artillery because they do sit on top of the ladder in the SANFL. So the coach, Marty Mattner, has been good enough to come in. Marty, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Now the General Manager of Football Operations, I think I've got that right, Shane Grimm. Shane, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Well, let's have a chat with you first, Marty. I mean, we all know your terrific footy background with the Swans and time in the AFL. The transition from playing to coaching seems to be going pretty smooth for you.
Yeah, definitely. Really enjoying being back in Adelaide and at Sturt, and the 2 years at Sydney sort of set me up, I think, for my coaching career and learn a lot. But yeah, the last sort of 12 months or 9 months in this job has been really enjoyable.
You know, a lot of years ago, sitting in the stand watching a young Marty Mattner, you were playing the reserves this day. I saw Daryl Hart having a good look at him, and you're a beautifully balanced player. Always loved the way you play, and I thought, wow, this kid's got it. And Daryl Hart said, man, I reckon he's got something special. But the way you played, it was sort of no nonsense, beautifully balanced. I didn't see it transitioning into being a coach, to be honest. And I think you have these preconceived ideas of what a coach might be like.
Poppy's a good judge of character.
No, well, I've had a few mistakes in my life, but we won't talk about those women. But the thing is, with Marty, he seems to have got the system working beautifully down there at the moment. And I'm interested in what you brought to the table and what you've learnt since being there.
Well, I think as a player, you learn from every coach that you've coached or you played under.
Yeah.
So, Neil Craig, Gary Ayres was my first one, even Brendan Phillips, but Neil Craig was the first one that sort of I had for a long period of time. And his ability to professionalism and the way you prepare to play and getting players up to play each week was what I learnt there. And then I went to Sydney and with, Paul Roos and John Longmire, just about, I guess, the players and having a role and making sure everyone's on the same page and having a goal at the end of the year and those sorts of things. So you sort of learn from each coach and then you take the bits you think are really good from each one and sort of things you go, I don't think they did that very well. So you take your own personal stamp on everything. And then I guess, having a 14-year career, you do learn from some of the best people, players, coaches, everything. And hopefully that all comes together at the end. And then when you start to coach, you put everything in place. And at the moment, it's going really well. Like I said, winning's a lot easier and it is quite enjoyable. But I think we've got the structure for the whole club as well in place. 2 full-time centre of excellences and the junior development, that sort of area as well. So we feel like the club are in a good spot at the moment.
Marty, some players know when they retire that they want to go into coaching. A lot of them think they want to go into the media. Was there a time through your career you thought you wanted to go to coaching, or 2013 when you knew with your hip injury you couldn't go on? Were you taking in a lot of that information early in your career thinking coaching might be where I want to go?
No, it probably wasn't until the last 2 or 3 years when I started, I did get injured or was missing training, and I was actually out on the ground with some of the younger guys helping them out. And then I retired because of injury, so I still had the love and the passion for the game, but I just couldn't play it. So I guess, I still wanted to be involved in a footy club, and I guess coaching was the avenue that I took.
Shane, the juniors of Sturt have always been well regarded, and I know that I think you brought Rob Odie to the club, which again, David Odie, I'm sorry, Robert Odie, David Odie, who I played actually with David at my time in Sturt, but he's another one that's well regarded from football generally. In developing kids and getting the best out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. David's running our talent programs from 13s through to the 16s. He coached the under 16s as well, and so we've got. We're lucky enough that our zone is the Adelaide Hills and River Murray, so it's not too far away. A country zone as well as obviously a metro zone. So he runs the metropolitan development programs as well as the country programs, and as you said, he's got a wealth of experience in that area. And along with Chris Trapp, who's involved, he's coaching our under 18s, and he's full time at the club as well. We think that both of those guys have had a really big influence on our younger players already this year.
And I think Marty made the point that the club's in a good spot, and I think it is too. And having a little bit to do with Sue Dewing, who looks after the business side of it, you guys can concentrate on what your core interest is, and that's football. You don't need to be distracted by anything that's going on off field. I guess that helps a lot.
Definitely, it's absolutely all I have to worry about is what happens on the ground. As Marty said, at the moment, it's great because we're winning games, and that probably helps the off-field stuff as well. We can both help each other. Having money made available to because unfortunately money matters when it comes to football clubs. So we can do our bit.
Money matters almost sounds like Marty Mattner, doesn't it?
It does.
You say it quickly.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
I'm sure Marty's not getting the money that he'd like to get, not getting the danger money. I mean, you two guys, and we only met you briefly today, seem to have a pretty good rapport with each other. How quickly did that form? I mean, you guys don't have any great history together, so it's pretty much come from the time you started working together, but it seems like it's going pretty nicely.
Yeah, we knew a few. I mutually know Trent Henschel. I worked with him and
with
Marty played with him.
Yep.
Yeah. And I did ask Trent a little bit about Marty when we were going through the process, and so I knew what to expect a little bit. And I'm not sure about what Marty could speak
I
to.
did the same thing.
Okay, and now I actually am. I'm on the bench on the ground, filtering Marty's messages out to the players.
When you say filtering, what does that mean?
Swear words.
Right, so they don't get relayed?
No, not really.
There wouldn't be much happening there.
Not really, no.
Yeah,
Marty's
I find
really
that hard to
good,
believe. I would think Marty's composed and you're swearing when you I'm defending the coach on this.
Maybe that is what happens. But no, look, yeah, we've. I suppose we're both on the same page where we want the club to be as well. Yeah. And one of the philosophies of the club is constant improvement, continual improvement. Marty's the same, I'm the same, so we have that goal for the club.
Marty, when you come in, most coaches have a kind of style of game they want to play, and their philosophy is pretty much in place, and then they're learning as they're evolving as they're going. Previous coach, did some of the things that he left in play complement what you were trying to bring in?
Yeah, so before I got the job, I sort of looked into their last few years and where they sort of sat at Sturt, and I think in 2014 they played finals and they were one of the best defensive teams in the comp, and they were really good at their pressure and scores against. So I sort of felt like they could get back to that, and then we could just tweak a few things on the offense side of things that they'd still be a good team. And that core group of guys that were still there are still there this year as well. So we've recruited a few players, and we sort of got some real quality guys from the AFL back. But we feel like the pressure is the one that is my philosophy as well, the defensive pressure. So it's something we love, and the boys have really embraced it this year, and I think that's why we've been going so well. Someone
asked me a little while back, how do they look? How does Sturt look? Because I've seen a couple of the games this year, and I said, if you haven't seen them play, remember the way Marty Mattner used to play, because the team, I think, is an image of the way you used to play. They're well balanced, they're well organised, they're very disciplined. There's good understanding between the group. I just think I think you've got a standout team there at the moment. I really like the team. There's 3 or 4 really great players, but it's a great team. And
I don't know what it sounds like.
They're in a good position.
It sounds to me like he's got a man crush.
Well, I like Marty. I like the way. I've always liked the way he's
perfectly balanced. You've given us the whole spiel.
But but as a player, for those watching, they'll remember Marty as a player. Yeah. And if you haven't seen Sturt play, that's the way they play.
Is that a fair call?
Yeah, well, I think it's easier to articulate and teach guys when you're passionate about the way you want to play or coach. So it's a lot easier for me to be that way, because that's what made me a good player. So it's a lot easier to get across to the players, and it's we try and keep it as simple as possible as well. We got 55 guys on our list. So when you have injuries or whatever, you have guys coming in, we just try and keep the structures. That's probably the other thing, the structure over the whole club's the same as well. So we might have a kid 18, if he's good enough he'll play reserves, if he's good enough he'll play league. So we try to keep that continuity over the whole club, and it's as simple as we can.
It's an easy transition for him coming. We've got to go just quickly though. The Bays this Sunday, good win last weekend against Port. What do you expect from the Bays?
Tough game. They've really improved from last year, and they've had some really good form earlier in the year. They pushed the Crows, I think about 5 or 6 weeks ago as well. They've got some really good players as well, so they're going to be a danger game for us this weekend.
Well, Marty, Shane, it's a terrific start to the season. There's always that mid-year, can you keep it going? We'll find out, and hopefully we'll get you back to talk about the grand final win, but we need to get to a break. Stay with us, still plenty to come.